Hello, beautiful creators out there. Welcome to January 9th, Frequency Friday live episode 51. I was not here last week because I was under the weather, and so thank you for pausing with me. Thank you, everyone, for the well wishes. They meant so very much to me, and it was as to resting and truly resting, truly taking that step back and taking care of my body, getting used to being in bed and letting my body heal rather than pushing through. So there were quite a few lessons that came in. Definitely for me. How are you all doing? If you're here and you're watching, let me know. Drop your comment in the chat. Let me know how you are doing. We're going to let the beautiful YouTube algorithms carry this video out there. Hello. Do I have Karen? Hello. Thank you for being here. I hope you're doing well. I know you've been probably getting a lot of family time in, still moving in. I'm going to have to put my glasses on so I can read the comments now. Yes, thank you. Yeah, it's better. There's still a little bit of drainage going on, but I did some manual lymph release last night, and I think that really helped. Yes. So definitely feeling better. Oh, it was rough though. It was a rough patch for sure. Oh my goodness. Well, it's so nice to see you here. I'm just letting this get carried out. Okay. If it glitched right there, I will be back. A call came in. I had to decline it and send it on to voicemail. I do put on a do not disturb, but that doesn't always prevent things from coming through. So let me know how you're doing. How are you doing, Karen, in the comments? Let me know. I'm going to kind of do a few reminders here and go over a little bit about the astrology that we're dealing with right now. So reminders, I will have my live Q&A where viewers and subscribers, specifically subscribers, it's a subscriber benefit event on the 11th and the 25th from 7 to 8 p.m. Central. I will be doing the live Q&A where you can come on and ask a question and get a free personal mini reading, which is really exciting. And we have a lot of fun in those events. It's a very supportive and safe container to ask a question or just get a message from the universe. You don't even have to have a specific question. You can just ask for your highest and best message from the universe. So that's coming up here on Sunday night, the 11th, 7 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And it's a power hour. So we're going to get going at 7. The earlier you come in closer to 7 and drop your question in the chat, the better chance you have of that getting answered. So there's that, which is nice. And I will go until 8 or until the energy kind of declines and I can't handle anymore. So that's what we'll be doing. Just a nice reminder for everybody. Let's go over a little bit of the astrology, okay, of what is going on right now. We have a lot of planetary energy, especially in the inner planets going on in Capricorn right now. So we have what's called a stellium. We have not only the sun, but we have Mars, Venus, and Mercury all passing through the sign of Capricorn right now. So what this is doing is it is increasing our pull toward discipline, toward structure, and this is going to be across the board. So whether it be your finances, your career, you may be putting together a new budget. Maybe you're getting, for those of you that are looking for relationships, you're putting a structure into your dating plan, right? Or maybe your structure is to focus on yourself, your own business, your own gifts, your own talents, your own abilities, and work on building those. Capricorn energies are a wonderful thing to actually lean into when you're planning, because what you put together will last for the long term. It's going to carry you for the long road ahead. So when things sometimes seem overwhelming, Capricorn energy can be really helpful to help you kind of piece through that and get your planning going. So if you're tuning in, let me know. Say hello in the chat. I'd love to hear from you and how you're dealing with the energies of the times. Do also make note that the moon right now is in Libra, so that brings in a balancing kind of energy for us. And also, it's a trine to Pluto in Aquarius. So we'll talk a little bit about this and some of the energies that I will be discussing in the tarot breakout readings when we do those later are going to be around these astrological themes. Hello, Sanji. I am from Middle America. I'm from Middle America, Kansas City, Missouri. Where are you from? Where are you coming from? And is it late where you are? I know people are in different time zones, but thanks for dropping in and saying hello and being present and listening to what I offer. I appreciate it. So our readings today that we get into, I'm going to start off today just to kind of give you guys a little bit of the structure and appease some of the Capricorn energy. We're going to start with an oracle reading that I like to call the structural heart. Okay. And it's like going to go into the energies of what are the bones of our connections and our relationships. So we're going to honor that Libra moon. We're going to look for the places inside our personal relationships and situations where we feel like we have balance and where we don't feel like we have balance. And that can actually really span into all kinds of different relationships. Okay. So it could be your very close relationships, it could be business and work relationships. So most all of us are dealing with relationships of some kind, right? And that Libra moon trining the Pluto in Aquarius, we want to put some structure and some knowing against how we're proceeding forward. And then we're looking at our relationships and saying, who's coming with me on this journey further and who's maybe going on their own path and separating out. Sanji's from India. Well, welcome to the live. Well, welcome to Frequency Friday. Hope you stick around and are able to be present for today's live. Karen is coming from Michigan, where she's getting settled in. How's the weather there right now? We've had another little warm front kind of creep down in our area. We've been having very strange weather patterns lately. Has anyone noticed that where they live? Very nice to meet you too, Sanji. Very nice to meet you. It's amazing how we can get connected from across the world. So what's going on, Sanji? Are you working? Are you just relaxing? What time? Like, it's late there, right? It's pretty late. So here it's still morning, it's still morning time. Karen says, we had a sunny day and it's warm this morning, but it's dropping 20 degrees. Yes, extreme changes. We had a downpour yesterday too, big thunderstorms here where I am, a lot of water. Hello, Laverne Cochran. How are you today? And you've got gloomy today and a snowstorm coming. Oh my, that's a lot. So it's going to drop 20 degrees and dump some snow. That snow can be so beautiful though, and so peaceful. As long as you're not stuck in it somewhere, right? As long as you're in the comfort of your home looking out your beautiful windows. Yeah, so Today's energy, before we get into all of that with the oracle reading, and then I'll do several breakout tarot readings where we go in more into the astrology and some themes connected to the astrology so you can apply it directly to your life and to your blueprint, to your chart, to your personality. I do want to do the drawing 2 weeks ago. So it's been 2 weeks since I've been here because I was sick with this flu thing, the nasty stuff that's been going around, and I had some real challenges around self-care. But 2 weeks ago, at the end of Frequency Friday, I had mentioned that I was going to, in honor of the 50th episode, give away a 3-card reading for free, and that we were going to do the drawing last Friday. But last Friday, I really, like, every day leading up to Friday, I was like, I want to feel better. I'm going to feel better. I can do Frequency Friday. And my body just was like, no. And, the old me would have pushed through, take the Advil, just push through, show up and drag through it, right? But I am really learning how to listen on an even deeper level to my body than I ever have before, to my nervous system. And I really wanted to do things differently. I'm trying to shift habits. How many of you are trying to shift habits, like really into better health and better self-care? Let me know in the comments. Am I the only one who? And it's a struggle too, because when you're in this kind of spiritual community and you're doing the healing and you're working with the light and you're working with your shadows and you're really on the path doing the work, it becomes like you've fixed a lot of things already. You've really done a lot to tune yourself to the frequency you want to be in, right? But then it's that fine tuning. It's like trying to get into those little subconscious layers where you can actually, you think you're good at self-care. And this was my story. I thought I was good at self-care. I thought I'm pretty dang good, like compared to most people. But I can't really compare to other people. I have to compare to myself and say, is this really the level I need, or can I improve this even more? And lo and behold, I could improve it even more. And creating a different story, allowing it being okay for people to rest, for people to rejuvenate, for people to truly heal their bodies and not rush themselves back to work, right? Back to all the responsibilities that raise the cortisol and cause stress in the body. Now, I love what I do, so that's helpful, because I love what I do. But there's that little part of me that's like, oh no, my old corporate self comes in and it's like, I'm going to miss the Frequency Friday. What am I going to do? And the algorithms are going to punish me and blah, blah, blah. And resetting all that within myself to say, no, I'm the algorithm. I am responsible for this container that my soul and spirit lives in, and I'm going to care for it. And this is a big shift for me because that's not really something that I was raised to do that or taught to do that. I have had to figure this out for myself. So let me know in the comments, what are you all dealing with? Laverne, yes, today's messages are going to be collective, but what I oftentimes find is that the people that show up, if they want some guidance, they usually find their wisdom in the readings that I do. So the audience that is showing up and participating in the chat is going to be the audience that receives the benefits of the message, because the way that I read the energies is I tune my greater being, so my greater energetics. Some people call it the higher self. I'm going to tune that into all who are listening or who will listen to the replay, and I'm picking up on the themes and the energy, your greater being, from the energy that you all are emanating, and that is going into, and that is intended to bring you the highest and best messages that are going to help you in your life. However, don't forget that this Sunday night, if you're available at 7 to 8 p.m. Central here on Creators on the Crest, make sure you're subscribed because I do free live mini readings. And that's where I will do a power hour. I go through as many people as I can and do a free mini reading. It's one question or one theme per person. You just drop it in the chat on that Sunday night event. So watch for that on the channel. I do it every other Sunday night. The next one is coming up this Sunday, so it's not that far away. Dr. Noe 7883. Hello, how are you? Shadow work. Okay, so I've talked about shadow work before, and I'll just do a quick footnotes because I want to get to the drawing and see who the winner of the reading is. But yeah, shadow work is where we go into those subconscious, unconscious places within ourselves and do some work, do some maintenance, like acknowledging those darker aspects of ourselves or the places that don't feel good. And we work to see what we're supposed to learn from those areas, like what are the lessons in some of the tougher, some of the areas of ourselves where we don't feel as proud or don't feel as accomplished. And we go into that, and I'm just doing an abridged version of what it is. It goes very deep, but we look at that, we see, is this something that needs to be released? Is this something that needs to be integrated? In order for me to move forward in my life, how can I acknowledge and utilize this shadow in a positive way? All right, so we're not dealing with external entities. We're not calling in any kind of other spirits or anything like that. It is the self within, the aspects of the self that aren't always on the surface visible. And we're going deep into that to know ourselves better and to become more aligned and more authentic creator beings of our own lives, okay? And that's the benefit of the shadow work. There's both light and shadow work because we're existing in this universe of contrasting expression. And so it's important to do both sides of the coin. I'm about to sneeze. Whew, gotta clear some. I keep these Kleenex handy because I still have some of this virus trying to work its way out of me, right? And I did a lot of drainage, lymphatic drainage last night, so some of it is moving. You're going to hear it a little bit in my voice. It changes a little, but believe me, I sound better. Karen knows this. Karen is nesting and making local friendships. I love to hear that. Franny Roswell, hello, hello. Welcome to Creators on the Crest. How are you today? Welcome, welcome. Okay, should we do this drawing? So 2 Frequency Fridays ago, I said anybody who dropped a comment in the live chat, it was episode 50, before I was sick, or in the replay chat, I'm entering into the drawing, and I've pulled up this wheel here. So we're gonna spin the wheel. Let me see if I can hold this up and then actually spin it so you guys can see. So everybody's YouTube handle is on there, and we're gonna click it. Here it goes. Whee! Ooh, and our winner is Kimberly K, which is beautiful because guess what? Kimberly just had a birthday. Yay. So she gets a little birthday present. Yay. Congratulations. Kimberly also is, I did put all my moderators in here because they're so helpful. Girl Gone's here. Hello, hello. Yes, Kimberly. Kimberly has won the reading, and I do know how to get in touch with her. Thanks to everybody who entered. I'm really grateful for you all. And stay tuned because I'll probably do some more drawings this year for free readings. Also, if you are on Instagram, you can follow me at Creators on the Crest on Instagram. And in my stories, I will run specials and stuff. So be sure to keep an eye on that. And if you have if your YouTube handle is different than your Instagram, let me know who you are. Send me a message so I know I can make the connection. Oh, that's my person from YouTube as well. So yes, congratulations, Kimberly. So just a reminder, anyone who was like hoping they won, you can come and join the live Q&A this Sunday evening, 7 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time here on the channel, subscribers event, and get a free mini reading. So you put in your question, you put in your theme, one per person, and I just go through those. All right, so congratulations to Kimberly. I'm going to set this aside and we're going to get into the oracle reading. So remember I said the oracle reading today is about the structural heart because we have Capricorn energy, and Capricorn likes that structure and they like that, you know, foundation. They like to be able to work with kind of something they can grab onto, the earthy kind of energies. But we also have the moon in Libra, trining Pluto in Aquarius, and this brings in a bit of focus on relationships, how we relate to ourselves, how we behave in relationships and connect with others. We all have relationships that are important. So let me know in the comments, what relationships are you focused on? Are you focused on romantic relationships? Are you focused on work relationships, friendships, all relationships, family? Let me know. We're going to kind of cover everything. And pardon me if I have to like, use my Kleenex here and there and get some water. I'm trying to still drink a lot of water. So, but let me know how you're doing with relationships. And we're going to pull some oracle cards, and we're talking about, we're going to kind of lean into the intention that we're looking for a little bit of discipline with self-love and self-care. It's obviously something I've dealt with personally. I know many of you too have specific self-care practices, and maybe you want to share a few things about what you do in the chat. But also a lot of you have extremely busy lives and there's a lot of distraction going on. So how do you carve out that time to make that disciplined self-care? I mean, I know sometimes you just need the self-care and it's hard to schedule it, but also through, scheduling some time for yourself, which I have found helpful, even if it's just to go on a walk in nature by yourself, where it's safe, of course, where it's safe. You can go on a little walk, get rejuvenated, really feel better for a little while, kind of get back to yourself, get back to the bones of who you are. Capricorn is kind of like that structure, the bones. And really, it's more than just resetting the nervous system. It's all of the systems of your body working together with your soul, with your heart, and really committing to that, and also balancing boundaries in relationships and also sincerity and authenticity. So this is all connected. How will dictate how you behave in relationships. So that's what we're looking into with this oracle reading today. I'm pulling out the Healing with the Fairies oracle deck here, and our first card is going to come from that. I find the fairy energy to be kind of light and helpful with opening up things for us, right? And it's not too pushy, it's not too in your face, but the messages are still powerful. So let's see, this one's stuck right out. Ooh, this one, Karen, might apply to you. New location. New location. Now, I'm getting kind of a couple different things. Some of you could be in a situation where you have moved, like Karen, she's in a new location. All right, and she's getting settled there. She's, really feeling out the local energy. Some of you may desire a new location in your life, or to move, or to even travel. And this is a sign that that energy is coming up for you. And even if you cannot see the way to make that happen, okay, and you desire it, it's there. All right. You don't always, your mind doesn't always have to know how it's going to work out. How will I have the money to make the move or take the trip? It's just first connecting with the energy. Remember, we're looking at structure and discipline. So we're going to connect with the energy, build it We're manifestors of this energy. Now, others of you, if you're not looking, like I'm not looking to move right now, I'm fine where I'm at, right? Everything like that. This could be about getting a little bit of a change of scenery. And just like I just talked about your nervous system and the self-care, you may need to take a little day trip. You may need to go for a hike in the woods. There may be something calling to you that is really going to help with your alignment. Maybe you need some time. And maybe you're not alone. Maybe you're with someone you trust, a good friend, a partner, someone that you can really be with, that you can hear yourself. It feels to me like this energy of a new location is about the energy of truly like hearing your own inner voice, okay? And I'll just mention right now, because I'm thinking of it, we do have, we are babysitting for Jason's grandson. And so you hear his little voice in the background. It's so sweet. It's just, it's so nice to have that lovely, youthful little energetics. And every time I go out, he comes to give me a hug. It's really, really, really sweet. So the kids are playing out there and you might hear some of that in the background. It's life, right? But yes, some of you might need to carve out a little bit of time to actually hear yourself and connect with yourself in a new location. Maybe your apartment building or maybe your home is busy like mine, and you're just like, it's wonderful and it's beautiful and it's energy that I love, but I also need to be able to hear myself. This is a very soft and gentle card. So that is why I'm saying that, because the periwinkle color here is, it's very soft. She's kind of leaning into the experience. We have some butterflies representing transformation here. And Karen says, this card reminds me of the star card in your fairy tale tarot. Definitely feeling that. And yes, I've just talked lately a lot about the star card. So in my last Tarot and Tea, and you guys have seen maybe Tarot and Tea is kind of, it's shifting. I did a live this last Tuesday because I was too sick to record. So I felt better on Tuesday, I did a live. We're going into Astrotarology, okay? And this is something I'm really, really excited about because more and more and more we're going to blend astrology with tarot. And I'm really taking both arts and sciences and trying to maximize those energies. So we as creators and all of you out there can really take those and learn deeply those energies and how they work together. The archetypes of the tarot and the transitions of our solar system, of our universe, actually all working together, and how we can make the most of those energies. It's a lot of information and it moves really fast, but what I'm finding is the more that I lean into it, and I think I'll be able to bring this across to you all, the more I lean into it more deeply, the more clear it becomes. It's kind of like, let's say in life you've studied science, like I studied science when I went to college. Okay, I'm a biologist. And so I studied biology, I studied chemistry, I studied physics. And at some point, all of the knowledge and wisdom from those different types of science, they came together for me. Okay. And that's what I'm looking to do with some of the more esoteric arts and sciences like tarot and astrology. We're going to bring them together so we have a more holistic, complete understanding of the energies that we are facing here on the planet. Now it's very interesting too. Karen mentioned the star card. So let's just talk about that for a moment. The star card is connected to the sign of Aquarius. All right. It's a free spirited energy. So a new location may bring a fresh, free energy to you that you haven't had right now. I might have to blow my nose again. The moon in Libra is trining Pluto in Aquarius. So that balanced moon is reaching into Pluto, which, kind of brings us some challenge sometimes. It kind of lets us know from a distance what's going on in Aquarius. And so we have that connection going on with this card. And that is exactly the kind of comments that I love to see because they help guide the reading. So let me know, what does this card bring up for you? Karen kind of shared what it brings up for her. Is there anyone else who would like to share what this might mean for you, the new location? Karen is putting her feet in a foot bath, and it looks like she is too. Yeah, she's kind of on this lily. She may be like, was it a boat? Is she stepping out of this little lily boat into the water? Possibly. Let me blow my nose here. Sorry, guys. Guys and gals. It's just a product of the continual healing. Yeah. All right, there we go. Another sip of water. Gotta sip that water down. I love foot baths and foot massage. Oh my goodness. Whew, that sounds very nice. Maybe new location for some of you is trying a new spa or a new massage place or something like that as well. Could be having to do with self-care. Next up, the next deck I'm going to use is the Sacred Geometry of, since we are talking about our relationships. Karen says it's probably a boat, but if I were her, I'd have some warm water in the bottom and some like sea salt. Yes, some Epsom. Ooh, I like this, you guys. I think you're going to be happy to see this card. I think you're all going to be happy. If you've been working on your abundance channels and opening those up, well, we got abundance. Yay. The number 8, the energy of abundance activates our ability to manifest the wealth we need and the sense of fulfillment that comes from a heart and a soul that are overflowing with love and gratitude. Okay, so abundance. Now, one thing that we get kind of attached to in our world is that abundance has to come in the form of money. It's got to come in numbers, increasing in your bank account, in your investments, and things like that. And we tend to hyper focus on that. And who can blame us? All right. The stuff is like shoved down our throats, right? It's like propagated in the way that, at least in some countries of the world, of the systems that are set up, all the isms, right? And so can we, the invitation here is, can we open up? Can we open up to receiving abundance in a multitude of ways and find value in that? Abundance in supportive friendships, abundance in relationships, abundance in the ability to connect with nature, right? So looking at more than one way. Yes, it's about bringing in the financial stability that you need, and Capricorn is craving that. It wants the structure, it wants the bank account at the level that is comfortable, that is safe for you, right? It wants the paycheck coming in, it wants that income. Yes, and it will work for it. However, could there be some other places within ourselves that we can open up to abundance? Now, this is a path, this is a journey. Who has dealt with this? Let me know in the comments. Have you been dealing with opening your abundance channels and remaining open to the multitude of ways that abundance might find you, that might come into your life, or that might already be there, that because you're so hyper focused on something else, you're missing it? Let me know. How do you relate to abundance these days? I have an abundance of mucus that I need to get out of my body. I've been doing all the things to thin it out. Hydration, rest. I use like, when I do the lymphatic, I use castor oil, and I find that really helps with inflammation. Been doing all the things, so I apologize that, hey, we gotta take care of it. That's just the way it goes. But let me know. So we've got new location and we've got abundance. Okay, maybe there's a little connection here. maybe getting yourself into a new location, even if you're not moving, is going to somehow connect you and deepen and widen your abundance channels. Consider that. All right. This is all about like, it's all about mindset, but it's about so much more. So first, you're going to consider it. We've got to get it past the mental barriers and blocks. Okay. We got to get it past those arenas first. And then we're deepening. We're taking abundance into the heart space, and we're going to really accept it on all levels. And Franny says, I've just passed my driving test and got a new car. Congratulations, Franny. That is absolutely the abundance of your achievements as well. So you kind of have two things. You achieve something, it's something you had to study and work for, right? But you got the new car, you've got a vehicle, right? And depending where you live, I know here in the States, that's pretty important. We don't have a lot of great public transportation infrastructure here. And so that's really important. And that could make us really feel like, oh my goodness, I'm abundant and I feel very grateful for this. And then when you have that vibrational energy going out, Franny, what will happen next? We'll see what comes in for you next. Karen says, I am open to abundance of wealth, friends, positive relationships, good feelings, and healthy food varieties. Oh, another thing here we kind of struggle with in the States. Yes, we can grow food, but with a million other things going on in our lives, right? In fact, Jason and I are going to do a garden this year. We're going to do an outdoor garden, and we're getting ready to plan that because it's got to be planted in March. And so, like healthy food varieties, and can you find them locally? Are there farmers markets around, right? Let's not underestimate the importance of our health. I know in a lot of the questions and focus areas I've been getting when I've been doing one-on-one readings for people lately have been around health. And so keeping that as important, and bringing the control of those food sources back into yourself, what you put in, what you buy, what you grow, all of those things. Sorry, more mucus. It's got to be done, got to come out. Better out than in. It's because I did those wonderful, it was a chiropractor who was showing drainage techniques. Because I could feel it. I can feel it in my eustachian tube, in my ear, kind of going against the tympanic membrane, the eardrum. And I could feel it's not as much today. It's starting to, but I also my ear did perforate while I was sick, and it drained a little bit there. So it's also healing. Want to blow too hard or like try to pop my ear because it hurts. It's healing. So I have to do these more gentle draining techniques. I wanted to know that, but I was telling you anyway. That's what's going on. The Elemental Oracle is up next. We're going to get a card from the Elemental Oracle. So about discipline and self-love, we have new location and abundance so far. So the discipline, like Franny's example that she put into passing her driving test, right? I know it's not fun to watch, guys, but thanks for bearing with me. We're releasing. I'm releasing. It's a good sign, right? The discipline she had to put into that toward her goals, toward something that she needed that led to abundance. And when we're in those gratitude and abundance energies and we're recognizing that, even when we're commenting it, right? We're taking that effort to comment it, then it's like we're anchoring that and we're inviting more of it in. And we got, of course, this is a good one to come up during Capricorn season. We got groundedness and gravity, the number 39 card. And I'll just hold it up so you can look at it a minute. Look at all the different animals. Well, first of all, she is draped over the earth, resting, interestingly enough, with almost like these beautiful moths or butterflies that are, you know, up here, representing maybe that Aquarius air energy, that Pluto in Aquarius, because it's going up into the solar system here. And maybe is there an animal that stands out to you? There's so many different animals here. We've got a lot of animals joining here. Maybe witnessing animals, bird watching, or watching the squirrels play. Maybe some of you really, that really like brings you closer to nature and you like that kind of energy. Karen, you're up in Michigan. Have you seen any, is there like moose? Is there moose up there? Have you seen elk? I definitely see some horns and antlers in this picture. And we're kind of representing all areas of the world. There's a little kangaroo. We've got a bear energy. We've got a dog here. It looks like this is the backside of a wolf, kind of looking, and they're all kind of moving toward her. I wonder if some of you aren't attracting in the animal totems that you need. I love working with the animal kingdom to help with spiritual growth. So take a look and see what you might resonate with. Here's a little chimpanzee guy in the background. Let me see what else we got here. Maybe we have a little fox, a crow, or a raven. So if you're into the birds there. Yep. And we've got an owl. Is that an owl or maybe a little raccoon down there? There's just so many. Oh my goodness. Had to really look at that. Karen says they've seen deer and loads of squirrels and a wider variety of birds than you have ever seen. Yes, I love, so new location energy could bring in new animal totems for some of you as well. You know, we have kind of a fresh year here. So maybe some of you are connecting now. Maybe you've worked with certain animal guides and now you're shifting into new ones here. You saw some vultures up close, bald eagles and hawks very close up. Yes, nice. Even the sounds of the animals and the sounds of nature, very, very helpful. But we have groundedness here. So the universe is inviting us to really like connect with this energy, okay? Really to ground ourselves in this lovely energy of the animal kingdom. But we have the cosmos here. So we're still connected on the soul and on that more spiritually heightened level. But how we ground that energy, and Capricorn season is the best time to do this. We have that Capricorn stellium going on. How we ground the energy into our daily practice, into our lives is like super, super important, right? We don't want to just have head in the clouds and not be able to integrate the wisdom that we're getting from the cosmos into our everyday. And let me just say, like, what happens to me, and the way I know I'm on track, and we just had this happen, is we had the exterior of our house needs to be redone. Okay, so I'm on a quest to save the money to do that. And there's a spot where there's some wood rot and squirrels got into our wall in our attic. And so this is what happens though. I've had mice, squirrels, groundhogs all try to move in around my home. And I think when we have those little creature things, they're attracted to the energy. I mean, these squirrels have been there, living in, I think, the oak tree that's in my neighbor's yard. And they finally are like, oh, well, we're going to get closer to this energy. We're going to move in. It's warmer over here, you know, let's get in there. And so Jason had to build like a special like chicken wire and squirrel escape contraption to put over the spot until we can get the house redone, the external house done and painted and all of that stuff. And so it was really cool though, because they have these little traps that let the squirrels out, but not back in. But we found that they go out during the day anyway to forage and play and do all their things. And so he waited till the day, then he got up there and put the little traps so they could, if there were any still in there, they can get out, but they can't get back in. It kind of like shuts the little door behind them. They can't get back in. And then once we know and are confident that there's none in there, and we haven't heard any since, we're going to just cover it with chicken wire. So, but see, it's like we had to ground the energy. We still have to do the work to deal with it. And we love you, squirrels, and we want you to have a warm place, but it can't be in our home. You can't be chewing on our wires, messing up the insulation, and hiding nuts in the walls and whatever else you're going to be doing. And we definitely don't want you to be birthing babies in there in the spring, right? So it's kind of stuff you have to deal with. You said here she looks to be, yeah, she's definitely leaning into both of these characters. These female characters are definitely leaning into these energies, trusting the earth, feeling very balanced and comfortable enough in the stability of the earth to rest. Finally, yes. Yes. So for all you ladies out there that have trouble resting, what a beautiful image, what a beautiful card. Gravity. We're not defying it right now. We're connecting with gravity, okay? So a little bit different energy in Capricorn season. Speaking of ladies, we're going to get into the journey of the divine feminine, and then we'll go to the journey of the divine masculine, and we're going to get a couple of indicator cards and message cards from the feminine energies. So think right brain, left side of the body kind of energies. And then we'll get a couple from the masculine, and we'll kind of talk through it here. Oh, interesting with the female. I'm going to get all of them, and then we'll talk through them. Oh, this one definitely wants to come out. Okay. Wow, we have some really interesting energies. Karen, we have moved so much, and to be able to feel at home enough to rest is a big deal. Yes, I'm so happy that you have that now, because you were on quite the journey of not being settled, right, for quite some time. There's some more mucus. It's just nice to see, because, you know, even you sound like, I can tell you're more grounded and rested, because even when you first got there, it was like right before the holidays, and it was like you're trying to make it nice for your family and like make the house a home, right? Make it your new home. You got to get it out, y'all. Got to get it out. Ashley, hello, Ashley. Hello, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Ashley, you were in, Kimberly won the drawing for a free reading, but you were on there. You were on the wheel. I did the little announcement earlier. And we are in the oracle reading, and we're kind of blending the best of the Capricorn stellium energies that are going on right now, all that groundedness, with the Libra moon that is trining Pluto in Aquarius. So we kind of get more into that ethereal balance. So feminine energies are going to talk first here, and think about right brain energies, left side of the body, female relationships, okay? Friendships, sisters, things like that, aunts, all right? Secrets. Is there a little bit of gossip going on, ladies? Over the holidays, have some secrets been revealed? Do you carry a secret that you want to reveal? To me, these ladies look a bit gossipy. And I'm really not sure that gossip has a very high vibration. In fact, I have experienced over the past 2 years, having met some people, and initially really feeling like, and this is like in a couple situation with Jason, feeling like, this is going to be good. We'll have people to hang out with. And then over the course of time, as Jason and I kind of evolved ourselves and moved away from certain things, it just didn't vibe anymore. And so it kind of naturally fell away. But one of the things I noticed about the female energy in that group was a lot of storytelling, a lot of gossip. that felt like it was kind of like one of those energies. Have you ever been around someone who's trying to like engage you in that gossip and you don't really want to be a part of it? And you also know that they're going to turn around to the next person and go do this about you. You know, they're that kind of person. Watch out for this, y'all. Watch out for this. This happens in the workplace too. Like you just get a vibe around somebody that you're just like, no. You know, I have in everybody has neighbors. I have absolutely amazing neighbors, but there are a few who are very gossipy. They are not the kind of neighbors that I would probably want to get any closer to. You know, I don't want to relate to them because I don't want to be in that energy. You know, I want authentic connections. So this kind of gossipy, secrety kind of stuff, no, I don't. It's like I don't have time for that, and I'm not big on drama vortexes anyway, right? There are things happening that are good, but I'm not ready to reveal them. So kind of a secret. Okay, so you may have um, a secret where you're spending a little more time with it and you're observing it and you're getting comfortable with it. And that's okay. So that would be maybe a more healthy approach to having a secret, right? And we all have areas and parts of ourselves that we like to keep secret. For some of you, this could be about overcoming showing up on your own behalf in a certain situation or just online or publicly because you've experienced some of this kind of energy in the past and you just don't want to deal with it, right? And yeah, people, you put yourself out there, people are going to talk about you. That's just how it goes. But you kind of get to the point where you don't care about that kind of stuff, you know? It just feels so petty, right? All right, and then we've got, here's another card. So some of you may relate more to one energy than the other because I am reading for the collective here. We got telepathy. What's your relationship to telepathy, ladies? Able to hear each other's thoughts and converse mentally, able to sense others' feelings and moods. Telepathy. Do you experience this? Do you experience this with your partner? Do you experience this with even with other people? If it's not, I mean, we're seeing a couple here, but we're seeing romantic partners probably. But could this be you have telepathy? A lot of people who are twins or triplets have this kind of heightened energy. It's those parts of our brains that we're still learning to access. And I'm thinking like, because I do like to, when I'm relaxing and unwinding, I like to play like Star Trek and just the old like space drama shows in the background. And for some reason, it relaxes me, even like going through a battle or something. It's just something that I do. I kind of have it going on while I'm doing things or whatever. And there are telepaths, you know, some of the alien species are telepaths, or like the Vulcans in Star Trek, you know, have the ability to connect telepathically through their practices that you're curious about. Is this something that you're maybe connecting with within yourself? Karen says, maybe Aaron and I are building on this lately, understanding each other more. Yeah, you know, it doesn't have to be like you're just standing in front of the person and all of a sudden you're hearing every thought they're saying in your mind. This telepathy can ride on the more subtle energies. It can be those unspoken, even understandings between two people, right? Maybe this is a level of relationship that you would like to achieve with the right person in the right environment, right? This could be what some of you intend to establish. And I do think, I do absolutely believe we are capable of this. And I also believe there's a lot of conditioning and programming and brainwashing and things like that that keep us from really connecting with those parts. But all the things we've talked about until now, allowing the abundance, having that change in location, doing what's healthy for us, staying grounded, right? Eating the right foods, having the right nutrition, all of that is going to to help with that. DNA Mindset Matters. Hello and happy Friday. You and your boyfriend have been having telepathic moments for a few days. Oh, that's so nice. Yeah. Did it surprise you when it first happened? Was it kind of surprising, or did it happen gradually over time? Let me know. I'm very interested in that. Yeah. And I sometimes feel like, too, for those of you with children, there could be like that telepathy kind of vibe. And it does go beyond just knowing habits and knowing the person. So we're kind of getting out of the maybe even more Capricorn structured mental mind where everything has to make sense practically. And we're kind of opening up into a different area of the more subtle energies, the energy of possibility, right? Because sometimes, the conscious overthinking mind will get in the way of the telepathic mind that is very present, right? Maybe meditation can help with that for some people. Definitely super cool. Dating for 2 months. That's it. And we just know we're meant to be. It's truly amazing. Oh, I'm so happy for you. I'm so glad that you have found someone. We're getting ready to look into the masculine energies. So for our feminine energies, we talked about secrets and telepathy. And for the masculine energies, masculine holding on to maybe a little bit of regret. This doesn't mean every man out there is regretting something or actively regretting something, but this could be a theme for the masculine energies right now. Now, masculine energies, you're going to think of left brain, right side of the body. Okay, so if you're working with your own balancing your own energies, left brain, right side of the body, you're going to think about taking action, okay? Because the masculine, the feminine is about receiving, the masculine is about taking action. And some of the masculine energies right now may be dealing with this theme of regret. Maybe it's regretting taking a certain action, something they did, but I'm also really picking up on the masculine energies, regretting something they didn't do or something they didn't say or a risk that they wish they would have taken that they didn't take. Okay, so that is kind of what I feel in the masculine energies is that regret. Like I should have acted when I had the chance. I should have let them know how I feel when I had the chance. Okay. We've got two very different masculine energies here, too. So we've got that regret. And, at some point, if you are a masculine energy or your own masculine energy, you're kind of in this, like I regret not taking that action. You have to get to a point where you forgive yourself enough to move on because that masculine energy still wants to take action. And you can't take action on a foundation of regret. So you're going to have to forgive yourself. Maybe you have to forgive others involved in order to have the stability to move on the path forward. Regret can hold you back. And if you have multiple things that you regret, that energy of regret, it can pull you into a stuck place. Hi, Justin. Hi, real Justin. I'm getting over being ill, so I am having to release a lot of mucus that's been built up, y'all, and it's just, for some reason, it's happening now during the live. Maybe it's just important. Some of you are going through releases, too, so witnessing it, allowing it to be okay. My nose is going to be a little red because I'm wiping it quite a bit, but better out than in. We want it out. We want to release, right? Those things. Now, here's the other energy coming up on the masculine. So we have that regret. We're going to acknowledge that. We're maybe going to face that a little bit. Ooh, and I don't know, DNA Mindset Matters. The masculine is also showing me a twin flame energy. Now, I'm very careful about twin flame, okay, here. Sacred union. I really like the words sacred union better because I think there's a lot of misleading information out there around twin flames and in twin flame communities. And gosh, I've been up and down that road, and At the end of the day, what I'll say about sacred unions is there is never a force with it, okay? It's natural and it's relaxed. And it's just very interesting that I do believe humans are evolving in relationship and connections in a way that we've had to experience some of the opposing energies, like the twin flame, the chaser, right? The runner chaser dynamic. Okay. This is coming up on the masculine. Perhaps the masculine energies are having a breakthrough and are being more allowing of this energy or experiencing it differently. But I almost wish like this were small. The small words in sacred union were the larger words, because I do think it's important the kind of words we use around that. And listen, it's it's beautiful to experience powerful soul level connections, but there's all levels of relationships, and there's meaning behind your connections and who you connect with, romantically and otherwise. We talk about twin flames, we talk about soulmates, but it's about humanity learning to evolve in their relationships and in their connections to bring in more harmony and more love. That's why we're here during Capricorn season talking about this. We're also being reminded that boundaries are important. Okay. A twin flame, a sacred union, someone in a sacred union with you will respect your boundaries. They will not test your boundaries, they will respect them. All right. So we're redefining this, and it's very interesting. It's coming in on the masculine active energy. DNA mindset matters. My boyfriend was a little codependent starting out. Yes. So maybe the codependency was coming from a previous, experience that he had, whether it be in his family or another relationship. And that is something that has to be course corrected, right? It has to be course corrected. And hopefully he's been open to that, to see that in your energy, he doesn't have to latch on with that codependency, that he can relax, that you're there and that you're in a loving space. Karen says, I have had soulmates that taught me powerful lessons that were painful and unpleasant. That is another thing about this. And I have too, Karen, and it's been very interesting, especially in my history with dating. And I have I don't have one of those astrology charts that's like, you're going to just get married to one person and be with them your whole life, right? I don't have that kind of a chart. I don't have that kind of an energy. Um, Mine's been more of a serial monogamy experience, honestly. Over time, I'm now 50 and I am now in a monogamous relationship. But for me, a lot of them were exactly what you said. They were not the right match, but they were there to teach me what I would allow, teach me about boundaries, teach me about how to care for myself. And the funny thing is that when I first met them or connected with them, I was so powerfully attracted to them. My soul powerfully attracts the people that are going to teach me the lessons as much as it does the people that I can relax in love with. All right. And I've had to learn that and like check myself at that first, at that first, like when that when that yield sign comes down and says, pause, wait a minute, let's look at that. I have to check myself, because sometimes I feel that magnetism and that attraction because my soul's like, yes, you're going to learn the lesson here, not you're going to live happily ever after with this person, right? But they end up teaching you something so powerful. You learn something so powerful about yourself that it makes it worth the while. Oh, good. DNA matters. You're big on boundaries, and he's been very open and welcome to learn. Good. That makes a huge difference when they're open to that. It really does. I'm glad to hear that he has that maturity level to learn. And you're saying Most are, yeah, when you feel those powerful. You had a domestic violence marriage, never again. Oh, DNA mindset matters. Okay, first of all, I'm so like, it sucks that you went through that. But I'm so glad that now you're like empowered and you have such a strong resolve about yourself that you will never, you know, let yourself enter into that again. Karen says, and I knew we were meant to be together, but at the time it was awful. Right, right. Yeah. You're going through, and I mean, you feel like your whole self is breaking down in these. Imagine that, like, what an incredible role to play in someone's life, you know, where you're teaching them a painful lesson. Right? It's like, wow. Oh, DNA mindset matters. I hope it, oh, thank you. You know what? One of my secrets is collagen. I am very committed to internally and externally using like collagen and hyaluronic acid, stuff like that. I still have wrinkles. I'm very big on being, I have scars and wrinkles. I'm very big on, like I don't get injections or anything like that. I do use the makeup a little to try to like, you know, there's like makeup artists out there that are for women my age, and they'll tell you the little tricks. You put the blush a little bit higher up here and you kind of do the eyes like this and you do the lips a certain way, right? So you learn the little tricks, but yeah, I'm big. I'll never cross the line with that, with the plastic stuff. It's just not for me. So I like seeing the wisdom and the wrinkles of people and everything, but thank you so much for the compliment. Magnetic vibes, yes. And it's like almost like uncontrollable. And you're like, what is that? Right? The younger me would like move toward that like a moth to the flame. I guess I was just supposed to learn a lot of lessons, especially earlier on. Strange synchronicity has been happening around those relationships. Yep, I've had that come up too, where some of the most toxic experiences too, like sometimes it comes back around, not in like the person physically being there, but their energy or something like that. Is that what you're maybe meaning? Oh, you're welcome, DNA. Mindset matters. She's saying hi to you too, Karen. Ooh, I need a drink of water here. Let's get into the breakout tarot readings today. So let me just explain really quick. We're going to do 3 tarot readings. Each of them is going to have a little bit different focus, but it's all going to connect back to the astrology of what we're going through and dealing with now. I'm just going to do a little reminder for anyone that wasn't at the beginning. This Sunday, the 11th, on the channel here for subscribers from 7 to 8 p.m. Central Time is the live Q&A where you can come on and you get a free mini reading. You put one question or theme in the chat, or you just ask for your highest and best message. And from 7 to 8, it's like a power hour, and I just go through those. So if you want to ask and kind of get used to my style and see how I read and get your own little personal reading, please join on Sunday evening, 7 to 8 p.m. Central. I'll have one on the 11th, which is coming up this Sunday, and then again on the 25th. I do them every other week. And the time zone is Central Standard Time, 7 to 8 Central Standard Time. Okay, so that would be what, 8 to 9 Eastern, 6 to 7 Mountain, and etc. On and on. My brain doesn't want to math right now, past that. So our 3 breakout readings, the first one is going to be the Capricorn Blueprint, because we are in Capricorn right now. We have the Stellium, the Sun, the Mars, the Venus, the Mercury, all in Capricorn, all congregating in the Capricorn energies. So the first reading is going to be about career. Those of you who are focusing on work, career, purpose, where you want to be with your job, your work goals, your career, however you're approaching that. Your legacy, the kind of legacy that you want to leave, whether it be for friends, family, children, the world, right? The world, and any material foundation. So this is where we kind of cover the whole abundance and money stuff. And one of the important points that I want to say when I do the reading, I'm going to intend that we're really looking at how we can build from what is already within us. Okay? Capricorn, like a lot of times we try to piece together, and it's okay to get inspirations and ideas from outside of ourselves. But sometimes we try to do what other people are doing and think it'll work for us. Certainly take the little pearls of wisdom, but there's something inside of you, and that's how I'm going to approach this reading. When it comes to your legacy, only you can birth that into the world from the inside out, right? So we're talking about your legacy, the legacy that you will leave, all right? And we're moving into this digital kind of technological era, right? Where recordings and things are going to be documented in a whole different way. What legacy are we leaving? What legacy do we leave with our energy, right? With what we've shifted in our in the reality field. Okay? Karen says, just relationships I had in the past. She says, hi, all. There were so many coincidences in our meeting that made me think this is spirit ordained and meant to be. It kept me around thinking it was more. Oh, I think we need to do a whole frequency Friday about what you just said, because yes, that was my experience as well. And, you know, I've done a lot of that focus on there's potential instead of the reality. That was one of my, that's one of my main cards too. Oh, well, look at the potential. Turned out to be a lesson learned. Yes, yes. DNA says, my mom is Capricorn and listens with me. Oh, how nice. Yes, hello, and happy birthday to mom. So the first reading will be that Capricorn Blueprint. The second reading is going to be the Libra Lens, because we have the moon in Libra right now. What does Libra want? Harmony, balance. That reading is going to be a little bit more relationship focused. Okay, so it's going to be about connecting and relating. Could be romantically, could get a little bit of love messages blended in there as well, but also just what we demand in relationships, the boundaries we have. You know, DNA Mindset Matters was talking about, don't want that codependency. I don't want that codependency. That is not something I'm going to, you know, settle for. So the person I'm with either needs to be in a healthy place with that or be willing to learn and begin to move into that space, right? So that may come up in that second reading there. And then lastly, we'll have, since the moon in Libra is trining Pluto in Aquarius, and this is where we blend astrology and tarot, we're going to take the Pluto pivot. And the Pluto pivot is about, okay, so here we have the career, the foundation, the legacy, the Capricorn Blueprint. We have Libra coming in, and it's helping us evolve our relationships and our connections into a more harmonious place. Now, the Pluto pivot is about, how do you show up with radical authenticity, being yourself? How might you need to shift perspective? Like we've already talked about some of the ways in the chat here. We've been having a chat about how we can shift our perspective. And we're going to look at that even more, because as you make these strides, as you set and maintain your boundaries successfully, you have no choice but to evolve. Your whole beingness just wants to evolve more and more and more. So yes, we're going to get into that. Mindset Matters says potential is a hard one. And you love the Astro Tarot. Yes, I call it Astrotarology. And it really is, we're looking to blend both. And kind of, you know, what I do on my channel is I try to kind of like do a little bit of education, because both astrology and tarot are packed with like symbolism and symbols and transits and all of this stuff. It can get really complex. So I try to bring in the feeling part of it, right? We try to go with an energy flow. I know for me, I'm the second half of my life, I'm really, really working predominantly with the left side of my body, my feminine energies. Okay. So the right brain, the left side of my body. Every issue that I've had this year has been on the left. The ear that filled up during this last illness, left ear. When I fell down last year in February at Great Wolf Lodge, I had a deep bone bruise on my left arm because I caught myself on a step. So I was going on this thing with my daughter, which she didn't even want to go on. I like talked her into it. It was like this little kid play area. And I ended up slipping and hurting myself. I fractured my left pinky toe. Some of you know that, might remember that from like a few months back. And then several other times I dropped my phone on my left foot. Have you ever dropped something and it hits the bones of your foot on the top? And it just is like, it's that pain that you want to scream, but you want to cry, but you can't. And yeah, so I've been having that going on. And even like from when I had my kids, the left side of my stomach and going down, it protrudes more than the other side because somehow both my babies, and they're 12 and 9 now, okay, I'm talking about a long time ago, but they were both like angled that way. And so it like stretched me that way. And so like trying to relieve that and like get it to relax and let go, right? Like, wow, it's been a process, right? Like Ashley says, oh my, all my injuries throughout my life have been on my left side. Yeah, when you think about it. So it's the feminine aspect of you trying to get your attention. It's your body's way of saying, I need to rest and receive. I need to receive this healing. I need to, I need to pay attention, right? The body has a way of like getting our attention, or these things just happen that has a way. Karen has, I have all right. Yours is all right. So you might be working with healing masculine energies, your wrists, your shoulders, sciatica, Achilles, top of your foot, all these things on your right side. So you're just learning it from a different perspective. It's more going to be more of your active energies. And it's interesting because like the sciatica, it can be quite painful and distracting, could really distract you. So maybe thinking about the active energies and the actions you want to take and how your body indicates where, hey, you might be blocked. That might be where some of the blockages are. All these things on the right side. Yeah. Let it inform you, whatever side it's on. There's no right or wrong. We're all here learning different lessons. I just know for me, it's been on the left. It's my time, earlier in my life, I remember having pain on the right, but it can help inform you, like what types of energies you're allowing or not allowing in your body. A cream of mushroom soup hit your pinky. I know, it is the worst. Being pregnant did the same. Your left side sticks out more. Yeah. And, I'm learning to love that. I've been sending a lot of love to my menopause belly that I have, and whether it's pregnancy belly, stress belly, menopause belly, it feels good to do abdominal work, as far as like building the muscles, yes, but I find for my womb area, like it demands like a gentleness, so I have to speak with it a lot and send a lot of love to that area and talk to it and let it know it's safe to release, like the feminine womb energy, whether it's right or left side, like the whole womb, right, is very, very sensitive, very, very multidimensional. We're multidimensional beings, but women, the womb space, that is like divine portal stuff. That's probably another Frequency Friday topic we can go into, but let's head into the first tarot reading. Let's talk about career, money, finances, material world. We're going to go with, this one is the Light Seers Tarot that we're going to go with today. We're going to talk about that Capricorn energy, career, legacy, material foundations. I'm going to get a few cards here for that. No right or wrong, only right or left. That's right. Oh, I'm glad you're finding that it's helpful. It is helpful. It's helpful to relate, to know, wow, you're not the only one. Like in my family, both my grandmother and my mother both had hysterectomies. So they didn't even go through like a natural menopause like me. So any woman I found that's older than me that's been through it, I'm like, can I talk to you, please? Like, do you relate to anything I'm going through? And so I think it's important to, befriend women of different ages and different levels of experience. It just seems like it helps me a lot. And if I can, by sharing my story, if I can help someone younger, they can see some hope that, even if they're going through something tough with their body or their feminine energies, they will be able to persevere. And I have experienced that energy where you get to a point where there's a lot you let go of because you're like, okay, why was I ever caring about what that person thought or this energy? You let a lot go, and a lot of you're like, oh, whatever. Yeah, sisterhood and feminine connection is so, so important. Okay, wow. It looks like with career, legacy, finance, we're having some decisions to make. I'm going to go with the card that's in the middle. I honestly see really good energies here coming up. Interestingly, maybe it's because we were talking about the feminine a lot. This could have to do with the feminine material flow, about our receptivity channels, because there's women in every picture of every card that I've drawn here, and there's queen energy showing up here. But the first one, and the reason I say we have some decisions to make, we got the Two of Pentacles. This is where now, of course, she has like a purse, right? This is where she is maybe balancing the material world with her cosmic and spiritual beliefs. This could be a card that pulls us and moves us to integrate that greater part of ourselves that is able to create the reality, is able to create the abundance, right? But from a place of great receptivity, because we're seeing a lot of feminine energies here. I am loving the colors in this card. First of all, we've got like a persimmon and a vibrant red. So everything I was talking about, I've got the orange of like kind of that sacral womb energy, right? And the connectedness. We've got those colors coming in, bringing us into that. Now, you'll see she's kind of in an odd position. She's like kind of swinging her purse, maybe with one arm, and the other arm is kind of connected up to the cosmos here. So this is kind of that energy where you may not feel quite yet like material world things are structured and set up. The foundation may be a little wobbly. This can be a bit of a wobbly energy. I know I'm dealing with that. I've left, I worked in the corporate world for about 20 years and left that solid paycheck and moved into pursuing what really is my passion, right? And that going through ups and downs and indecisions and learning to live differently, to budget differently, we have some decisions to make that is super, super important. Okay, so I do, and I've been saying this, I kind of said it last year. I do feel like moving forward, the importance placed on the decisions we make for our lives and for our creative energies are very vital and very important. And it's important we make wise decisions. So if some of you have been taking a little more time to decide, I think that's okay, right? Because the Capricorn energies would say, hey, I want this to be a little more grounded. This is earth energy with the pentacles, but I kind of want some things to land here. Maybe this is about, so it could be things like, let's talk practical. It could be like putting a budget together. So, I'm having a bit of uncertainty in my financial world. So it can be a little scary to look at the numbers and to look at the money and to look at all the accounts and everything. But I build on, I have courage and I look at it and I start to put it into a list and a structure, and I start to see where are my resources going? Where are resources coming in? Where would I like to open the portal wider for more resources to come in? Where am I blocked? When you actually go into it, you can learn a lot, and sometimes you're pleasantly surprised. Maybe you forgot about the two, the stock preference or reward that you got at your job when you were, in your late 20s, and it's still sitting there gaining interest, right? you might find something. So what we want to do when we hit the Two of Pentacles energy is find a way to start addressing those things, looking at them and making some decisions about it and what to let fall away and what to maybe lean into more deeply, right? Karen's 52 and been on the other side of it for a while. Yes, Karen, I always feel like you kind of know what I'm saying. I'm not really having hot flashes anymore. I'm kind of glad about that, but I was for a while. DNA is 40 and grateful for it all, but would never want to go back. Yeah, same. Yes, I love this deck too. It is. It's a very, very colorful and beautiful deck. Wind blowing, getting those nature indicators there. And you're decorating your living room in these beautiful warm colors. Yeah, it costs money to decorate. Right, right. It absolutely does. For real, for real. Yes. Okay, so we have some decisions to make, especially when we're thinking about the way we are receiving money. Maybe some of us, let me know if this is you, are working for companies or jobs where it doesn't fulfill your purpose. So you like receive the money, but it feels empty. That's how I was, especially in my last few years in the corporate world. It was just like, this isn't worth like the toll it's taking. But I felt like I still had to. What I was able to manifest for myself now is I have a part-time remote job because obviously I'm building my business, Creators on the Crest. You can see I'm releasing a lot today. I've been building Creators on the Crest, right? It's been a slow process, way slower than I wanted it to be. I've been on YouTube. I'm going on my third really like full focused year on YouTube. I'm still waiting to get monetized, right? I'm waiting for all that. I thought it would all happen faster. A lot has changed in the YouTube realm. So I manifested a part-time job to kind of help me get by. And it's something that I can do right from home. I homeschool my kids too, my two kids. And so I need to be able to work from home. That was really important for me. I don't like being out on the roads. I don't want to drive a long distance. I've been there, done that as well. So maybe some of you are dealing with kind of that similar kind of thing where like you're getting the money, the paycheck's there, and you're feeling like, oh, I'm grateful because so many people are like, I can't find a job and blah, blah, blah. But it's okay for that still not to be enough for you. I do want to say that it's okay for that still not to be enough. Okay. So no matter what everybody else says, oh, you're lucky to have a job. Oh, your company gives you this much vacation, blah, blah, blah. Whatever, you're so lucky. It's okay for it not to be fulfilling for you, right? And so getting real with ourselves on that, being really, really able to look at that and really kind of this is an energy, this can be an energy of brainstorming, like you're weighing different things out to try to figure out like what direction do I move. Now we have some queen energy showing up here, which is really reassuring to me and does tell me that if we take a look at this and we really commit to this, and y'all, like I know people have different tolerance levels for AI, and I try to use it very mindfully, like the technological intelligence, but it can be very helpful. And like, if you just say, I want to set up a budget, can you give me a format or a spreadsheet template? It can be really helpful for stuff like that. You don't have to give it all your information. You just tell, what categories you want and can create something for you, right? I mean, I can't afford to go buy like a QuickBooks thing right now. That's not an expense I can do. So I'm kind of like creating it myself, right? And I'm not a mathematician. I like math. I like mathematics and numerology, but I'm not a spreadsheet person. I'm not that kind of stuff is not my forte. So I have technical intelligence kind of help me out with that, right? Okay. All right. So self-love and inner peace over the paper fiat currency. Yes, true. And look here, we have the Queen energy coming up and the Queen of Pentacles. Honestly, this is a really good sign. I think it is a bit dependent on how much we focus in on our abundance, because I do think that she indicates that some gifts are going to be revealed to us when we're able to focus on it. I like how she is like protecting, but she's also very relaxed. Like, and I say protecting because she does have her arms crossed. Like, I don't know. To me, it looks like she's resting, but I kind of feel like if somebody were to try to sneak up and steal her pinnacles, she'd probably smack them upside the head with it, honestly. I don't think she's taken any BS. And look at the piece she has found. She's got little antlers coming out in the forms of like sticks, like she's so connected with nature. And she's so restful. Like her throne here looks so comfortable. She's got the red pillow that she's leaning against, and she's got the beautiful green covering over her head, green all around, which to me, green is a heart color. So she's really kind of embodied, and she's trained her mind to follow her heart, her inner peace over the paper money. And you know, even if this weren't here, she's the kind of energy that strikes me as she would be fine. She would figure it out. She would be trusting the universe. I see like a sense of pride and fulfillment. There's like a little upturned smile on her face. And it kind of gives me the feeling of like, there's no BS here, because the Queen of Pentacles is also really good with boundaries, okay? And that would include boundaries with money and spending and budgeting and all of that kind of stuff. But I kind of just sense they're like, nobody's going to disturb my peace. I dare you to try, right? Like I like this character coming to life, if threatened, I would, wow, I think she would probably have a few things to say, right? But she's putting herself in an energy likely where she has all the boundaries already in place and doesn't have to deal with that, doesn't have to take on dealing with some of those energies, because she's done the work. The Queen has done the work to the level of the feminine knowing, where she is an embodiment of the inner work that she's done. So I love it. Yeah, it's very much a path, very much a pathway. We don't have the ace here. The ace would be kind of the first card. We don't have the ace or the king. So that to me is kind of pulling this into the feminine receptive energies and the boundaries. I wish AI could clean my bathroom. Yeah, we have one of the little robot vacuum things, but I find it's really good if to do like the normal high-powered vacuum and then use a little robot to help maintain things. But yeah, I know my bathroom needs cleaning. Everything needs cleaning because I've been out sick and I'm usually the one who does the cleaning, and I do not have a housekeeper. I do it all myself, or I train my kids. My kids are being trained how to do chores and household things too, and they help with a lot. Jason's pretty good too. He's a pretty good helper. DNA says, I literally just asked my therapist for a schedule type template. Yes, and Capricorn season energies loves that. They love templates, schedules. They like to have a list to go to, something to refer to. It helps with accountability purposes as well, right? We had pink with red and orange, and now green, red and orange, both. Yeah, yep. If you work with chakras, that's definitely those energies. Hi, X Dark Angel 7. How are you? Anyone who's recently joined, I'm getting over being sick. So I did a lot of lymphatic drainage last night because I had a lot of backup in my left ear, and it's all draining out today during the live. But we're rolling with it. We're accepting it. I have a whole pile of Kleenex over here then that I'll be getting rid of here in a minute. Okay, and welcome in, welcome in. My kids are doing the dishes. Yes, my kids have been helping with the dishes. They unload the dishwasher. They're also responsible for helping keep the dogs water and food going, cleaning their own rooms, of course, bringing their laundry down, and then they share a bathroom, so they're responsible for cleaning that bathroom. I still have to give a lot of direction, but we're getting there. And Jason does like the trash, you know, he does like all the outdoor stuff, any mowing or any kind of that kind of stuff that needs to be done. And he's really good at running the robot vacuum. He loves the little robot thing. Yeah. But yeah, it's just a vacuum. All it can do is the floor. So this live stream is a mix of astrology and tarot called Astrotarology, and we are currently in the middle of doing a reading that is reflective of the Capricorn energies and the stellium that is going on right now, meaning we have multiple planets and points in Capricorn, the Sun, Mars, Venus, and Mercury, and we're looking at finances, and we're looking at legacy and material possessions. And so far, we have the Two of Pentacles and the Queen, and I really love how we're moving with those energies. And even better, y'all, you're going to see now how this is going to turn out for us. So as you walk the path of the Pentacles, which is connected to Earth energy, which is perfect for Capricorn season here, the journey. In fact, I did a webinar on the journey to the Queen of Pentacles. I'm going to have to go pull that and put it on my website because it was really good. It was really powerful. I think I still have the recording for that, or maybe I'll bring it back to life and do it again. But it was really exciting. And it, you know, and the same thing for men, journey to the King of Pentacles, right? The Queen and the King. But look where it's going, y'all. The Sun. The happiest card in the deck. And look how like the beautiful, like the solar energy is like illuminating her, and she's open, she's barefoot on the ground, so she's grounded. And look at, here's those colors again, those orangey warm red, reddish orange colors, and she's opening to this energy, right? The Pentacles journey can be a little grueling. You are having to work. You are having sometimes to grind. And it's just nice to know that along the way you can stop and have these moments, and that at the end of things, we're opening up to this beautiful energy, to what makes us happy, what fulfills us outside of just the paper money, like DNA Mindset Matters was saying, right? And so, yeah, there's nothing left out here, Karen says, because there's all the colors. So this is where we really connect to that embodiment, and we feel really warm and great and happy about it. Very, very happy card, very much a card of success. So I think the success is dependent on us making some decisions, what to cut out, what to lean into, how to open our receptive channels, what actions we need to take. All of that is in there, right? The Capricorn work, the work to get there. But also, if we work on building what we have within, because remember I said it's all inside of us. Sometimes it just takes, like we can set ourselves up to be quite complex at times. So when we are doing this inner work, we have things we have to sort through. And that's what the Two of Pentacles says, is we're going to sort through these things, particularly how we're relating to finances and money and income and out, what's going out, what's coming in, right? And our relatability to that. Karen says, it feels like if I focus on my heart, my root, and my solar plexus, I will feel balanced and fulfilled. Maybe those are your areas. Yes. And it's interesting you vibed with those colors for your interior decorating. Very interesting. I'll be watching for a picture of how that turns out. So yeah, it's looking, honestly, it's looking great here, everyone, if you're willing to take the journey, if you're willing to journey to this queen, okay? And that doesn't mean you can't connect with her along the way. In fact, as you're thinking about your material situation, your finances and all of that, your career, your legacy, where you want to go with things, you do want to connect with her along the way. Take this image here and put yourself in this picture and really connect with those energies, right? We're connecting with the future versions of ourselves along the way. So you're already forming the connection, and then the steps to get there get closer and closer and closer. And you're going to experience different things along the way. But boy, this makes it really look like it's worth the journey. It honestly does. Yeah. Good. And see, like Karen has what I love about, and how I've talked about it before on my channel when I do readings, okay? They're collective. Yes, I'm vibing with the people who are watching and communicating, and I'm going to be more likely to pick up on your energies if you're engaged and involved. But you can find your own meaning. So even if you're noticing something about the card that I don't bring up, you need to trust your intuition, trust your inner guidance system. See how she just extracted like her very own message from it, right? So I think sometimes people go and they'll watch tarot readers and they're waiting for like, give me the yes, give me the no, tell me when, right? And it's a very anxious energy. But if you relax and just sit back, and you're going to kind of listen, but you're also going to trust your intuitive voice is going to pick up, and it's going to start telling you, oh, maybe Stephanie didn't mention it, but I'm really noticing this in the card, right? That's exactly what I intend when I read for people, because at the end of the day, you're going to do the most with what you're resonating with yourself and what you've come up with. So you're your own intuitive, right? Yes, I'm a psychic intuitive, but you're your own intuitive. And for you to actually benefit from it, you actually need to have a connection with this. So if there's something you're seeing in the card that stands out to you that I don't mention, roll with it. Maybe put it in the comments. Maybe you're noticing something, and maybe someone else in the chat was also feeling what you're feeling, right? And this is how the community builds. So it's a much that's the purpose, that's the point. We're working with energies here, and it's important that each of you connects with the energies in your own unique way as well. I'll give you my interpretations. Yes, I'm going to open some doors, I'm going to put some things out there, but then you can use your own intuition and creative energies to roll with it and figure out what the message is for you. How do we directly balance our chakras, energy healing versus shadow work? So I actually had an experience where I transcended the chakra system. So for me, I don't work with that system as much anymore as I used to, but I used to work on it. Now, this experience that I had, which I need to do a whole video about, it happened spontaneously for me when I was pregnant with my daughter, 3 years after I set some intentions around that system for myself. But I'm also a big advocate of there are a lot of people still working with the chakra system, and that still need to. They have, it's part of their own energetics, and I'm not big on removing or going and having somebody remove. To me, that feels like an unnecessary surgery or something. Like it just doesn't feel right. I think the energetic systems that we carry within ourselves, when we're ready to move on from those, or maybe we're gonna relate to the meridians instead. Maybe some of you are more into like the acupuncture, or I had one friend, he was into mind, heart, and gut. So he kind of worked with 3. I think you got to follow your own path with that. I just know I do have my own experience with it. It happened spontaneously 3 years after I set some intention around it. I didn't force it. I allowed myself to receive the experience. It happened in the shower, which I'm a water sign, water sun, so Cancer sun. So in that shower, in those baths, I get like a lot of experiences and downloads and visions and things. And so it just happened. So I am personally not the expert on balancing out the chakras, but I will say in the past, I have worked with certain people and modalities or Reiki healers who I believe are good with that. So I won't answer that exact question, and everybody's a little bit different. Some people do really well with body work. Some people like to have talk therapy. Some people like a combination of both, right? So you're a reader as well. I'm not surprised. I could kind of tell with how you've been receiving the information and participating. You were just letting your mom know you need a new tarot deck, and she's like, you have plenty. Yeah, you see my big bookshelf back here. This is all full, and I actually need another. I need another shelf. But sometimes I'll gift them out too. You have 2 singing bowls. Yes, I love singing bowls. I love singing bowls. They're so nice. Okay, wonderful messages from the Capricorn Blueprint. Um, let's get a little affirmation from the, whoa, super attractor oracle. Let me clear these out. I just used them for a reading. I think they were connected to someone else's energy. But let's get an affirmation, to close out the reading. Here we go. I let the universe catch up with my dreams. Ooh, and there's those colors again, y'all. I let the universe catch up with my dreams. Yeah, don't get in the way of the universe bringing things into you, right? Let it bring things to you. You've got you've put the mindset in, you've got the mental images going, you've got your goals, your dreams. Let the universe start to move things, because sometimes if we try to force that, we'll like force situations that aren't the highest and best, but yet the universe and our connection to that does know what the highest and best is. So if you're caught up with like getting hyper focused on timing, like when is this going to come through? When am I going to get the new job? When can I leave this corporate job? Whatever, right? Get a little too hyper focused on that. It kind of puts, some clouds. Let these clouds clear and let the universe bring into for you and to you. I love that message. I let the universe catch up with my dreams. Karen is sharing some important tips for you, DNA. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Karen, for being willing to do that. And for, allowing us to have a space where it's okay for us to take these journeys. I think a lot of times people they get really attached to certain modalities or to certain belief systems, and then they transcend those, they get out of it, and then they have no tolerance for it's like, just because somebody talks about chakras and I've had a transcendent experience to that energy system doesn't mean I still can't learn. And it doesn't mean that person is at the point where they might not be done working with that energetic system. I think the chakra system too, it serves a great purpose. And we won't even go into sound healing and how powerful sound healing can be with the bowls and everything. But we're going to get into our second reading, the Libra Lens. So this one's going to be about relationships, harmonizing our relationships, bringing balance to our relationships. Okay, really powerful energies here going on with Libra trining that Pluto and Aquarius. We're going to kind of flow. So we're kind of going from the practical, the career, the legacy into relationships and harmony. And then the Pluto pivot will be our radical authenticity. So we're blending in the astrology of today, of the times, with the energies here that we're dealing with and getting our archetypes from the tarot to assist us. Okay, the Libra Lens. Oh, okay. Now, I'm going to say, since we're focusing on relationships here, as I move through some of these cards, some of you may see some of these energies more potently in your partner than yourself, okay? Or in like one of your children, or in like your parents' relationship or something like that. Right. So watch for these messages in your environment. So if there's one and you're like, well, I don't feel like that, but my partner's mentioned something about that, then this could just be the energy is getting explained to help you understand them better or to understand where they're coming from. So I felt the need to really say that. We're going to start with I think it's kind of like Libra comes in, and Libra is an air sign, so it kind of comes in like the wind. We've talked about the wind today. And we get the Knight of Swords, a very fast moving energy. I mean, he is charging he's going to just go leap on this motorbike and take off, okay? is a very fast moving energy. It is the kind of energy that charges in. So when we're talking about relationships and harmony, we might be talking a bit about some of that magnetic movement that some of us have taken in the past towards people, and then we only come to find out that we're supposed to learn a painful lesson, right? The Knight of Swords charges in with no strategy, just like balls to the wall, like, let's go. Let's go. Like, we're off to the races here. All right. So I think that when it comes to Libra energies and relationships or harmony, Libra of all the air signs says, well, that's great, but is that motorbike balanced enough? Are you going to tip it over on your way to wherever you're going? Can you walk toward it? Why are you in such a hurry? Let the balance, let the harmony come in. Or, I find this too in people, and even in myself. When I was single and I did not want to be single, I wanted a relationship. I was kind of hasty with, just kind of jumping toward or going into a connection that was, that I should have just taken my time with instead, because I would have realized a lot of things. The hindsight is 2020. The Knight of Swords goes for it, right? The Knight of Swords goes for it. It's like Nike speed, like, I'm kind of getting that, Nike. Didn't Nike, like, is that Greek? Nike with the wings on the backs of the shoes, and that's where the whole like Nike stuff comes from, right? Um, this is fast moving energy in relationships. Now, how does that affect the harmony? Some of you could see this too in like, teenagers or kids. You could see them running toward a relationship, and you're like, wait a minute, why are we moving so fast? I don't want you to move so fast. Yeah, he flies with the wings on his feet. Yeah. So this could come through in an energy of like, you've learned some lessons about times in your life where you moved fast, and you see like your child or a loved one kind of going down that path, and you're like, hey, you don't got to move so fast. And here's the other thing, like, this is something DNA Mindset Matters said, like, her current partner came in with a bit of codependency. Sometimes, and here's swords energy, more air energy. So we're really getting, that kind of energy in here with the Libra energies. This is rest. This is healing. The Four of Swords says it's time to relax, to really look at what's going on in our hearts here. This can be also for those of you who aren't actively in the beginning of a relationship or something. This could be an area where you're just going in and maybe you put a pause on like friendships for a little bit. If you're anything like me, you've had some friendships change, form. Some have seemingly become more distant, and it's just kind of naturally happened. There's no right or wrong, or like, there's no animosity. It's just kind of change, just kind of moving in different directions, right? And that does change the harmonics of our relationships to others. And sometimes we need a little bit of rest to kind of figure out what has happened, what has just happened. I see your comments, Karen. Sometimes it does that multiple. Jason had that happen one time where he wasn't trying to spam in the comments, but for some reason he was trying to type something else and it just kept sending that. It's some sort of YouTube glitch. I know you're not spamming me. DNA Mindset Matters, you just posted that on your channel, the affirmation card. Oh, how nice. Thank you. Is your channel, your handle here, DNA Mindset Matters? Is that your current channel? So we can be sure to support you. Let me know. All right, so Four of Swords, we're resting. We're rejuvenating. We're in our nest. Karen even mentioned like nesting earlier. And for her to take her whole family into, her and her husband into a new home. There's nesting going on, recuperating, rejuvenating. We've been moving a lot, right? We're coming out of this really high-speed movement into rest and rejuvenation. Me going at a certain pace, getting ready for 2026. Yeah, let's go. And then my body says, no, I need to transform something. You've got to do this. Guess what? You're going to be so laid out, you can't even do your lives. You can't even make your videos, okay? The body will tell us, right? And so this is when it comes to relationship harmony as well, how we're relating to our subscribers, our audience, our clients, right? All of this, we're really seeing the different energies between the rest and relaxation and the action between the feminine rest and receptivity to the masculine action there. So very interesting that this Libra lens, this moon in Libra trine Pluto and Aquarius may be showing us where we're now feeling like we have a bigger picture understanding of all of our relationships right now because of these differing energies. So we're kind of seeing where things fit and where they don't. And I've been talking about this for a minute because it is hard when relationships are changing, because when your relationships change, even if it's like workplace as well, it could be in the workplace, you have to get to know yourself differently too. All of a sudden, you're relating differently, right? And so, yeah, it's like sometimes you just need a moment to yourself. I think Macy Gray sings a song. It's like, moment to, she's just talking about getting time for herself and doing that self-care and love. Like, I need to have a conversation, and it's with me. And sometimes we have to let our partners know if they're coming at us, because Jason, my partner, he gets excited. He comes at me with all this excited energy. And if he comes at me when I'm in this kind of place, he's like, why aren't you excited? And I'm like, because I'm in this kind of place right now, right? And so that's where communication comes in. Now, what's looking really positive with this Libra lens here and bringing this in is that we have this beautiful golden energy of the Nine of Cups. So finally the emotional energies come in. So we have our air and now we have our water. And I'm just like imagining for some of you, I don't know, I see like the wind rippling across like a lake, or noticing how the air meets the water and the ripples from the air itself, the vibrations, maybe even through sound, because what is she dealing? They're all like copper singing bowls flying out of this beautiful like treasure chest. So there's our sound healing that, DNA Mind Matters was talking about there. And I love that. I love that energy there that we're getting in relationships and harmony. This is us feeling accomplished. The Nine of Cups is, there's a certain pride and a certain joy in what we've been able to recognize in our relationships with others. And it's a beautiful energy when we can open up into that, and we're grateful for the wisdom, and we're grateful for that. If you can, drop a comment, because the comments kind of look weird to me. Sorry, I gotta blow my nose again. I don't know if the comments might not be working. See if you could put some hearts on. Like hit the little hearts. I'm not seeing the comment feed ever since, like, now maybe you guys are commenting and I'll see it later when the video, oh no, there you are. Karen says, yup. Okay, good. Because sometimes like the feed just kind of like slows down. I see you now. Okay, it's coming back. Very good. Very good. I see Ashley. Hi, Ashley. All right. What are y'all feeling about this card? For the thing that stood out was we have the singing bowls and we talked about the sound, maybe sound healing. Last night I listened to, I like that 432 hertz frequency. And I listened to something because I know part of me getting laid out and being sick has been about, I'm one of these people, like I'm so aware of the nervous system, but I like pressure my nervous system through things. Even when I'm doing self-care, I don't know how to explain this. It's some sort of like anxious attachment to getting things done that I have. Like it's like a pressurized, anxious kind of energy. And this kind of energy of like movement where it's just totally released like that and like going into the sound, it's really like something that I need. I need a lot of support with my nervous system. I need to support the healing of my nervous system because my mind likes to come in and says, oh, you are supporting your nervous system, but go ahead and get all these things done, right? I have a lot of conflict going in there. And I think that's part of what's going on behind why my body's like, nah, I'm the body. I'm being managed by the nervous system. I'm going to shut you down for a few days so you get really clear on how you're shortcutting yourself, Stephanie. Okay, so this is my inner dialogue going on. Now, you guys may not have that. You may have different relationships, but that 432 hertz, I listened to one last night that it was about calming and reassurance for the nervous system, because safety, energetic safety to me is also very important. And so that's what that's what I want to open up into more. This card to me feels like an invitation. Let me know what you're seeing though. I'm going to read a few comments. AM is here. AM, you. Hermes wings on feet, Mercury, Nike, and winged victory. Thank you. I can always count on you to come in with the symbolism and the signs. I know you study the astrology. You're very good with that. Music and sound healing stands out to me. Yeah, music, vibrational frequencies. And I think there's a lot of things that can actually be actually hurt or healed by sound. I think sound frequencies are super duper important. I think they can be used, they can be weaponized. They also, though, can be very healing and connect in with like vibrational frequencies and free energy, things like that. So I prefer, and I've really been drawn lately to back to like classical music, but I've been trying to find classical music that is at the original frequency before they changed it to the 440. And sometimes you can find original versions of that, and it has a certain kind of feel. The feel is a little different. I've taken the 440 and like transformed it back to 432 somehow. I don't know how they do it because I'm not an expert at that, but I've really been looking for those original sounds. So I've been kind of on this little quest to find. I really love Vivaldi's Four Seasons. That's like one of my favorite compositions. Freaking love it. And I love listening to that. So whatever it is for you, maybe it's 432 hertz, maybe it's classical music, maybe you sing, maybe you create your own music, maybe it's something that you're doing. You like the frequency healing therapy to heal sciatica years ago. Perfect. I've had tuning fork work done when I've been in sessions, but I've never got my own tuning fork. If you have any recommendations about where to start with that, I'd be love to hear with that. Has anybody else used the tuning forks? Love that. I do have my little chime here. Let me grab it. This is a Montessori Zenergy chime trio. Sometimes I use it here on Frequency Friday. And the kids love it. It's just a beautiful little chime. And it kind of sets the tone and the energy. I really love using that. And then I have a heart centered copper singing bowl. I've never had crystal singing bowls, but I think they're beautiful. The other thing that I really loved once, I went to a sound bath. Has anyone ever been to a sound bath? And it was gongs. And all the gongs, these huge, massive gongs, it's like a traveling gong thing. They were the frequencies were with the different planets, and everybody went in and you got your yoga mat and your blanket and your pillow and everything, and you laid and they played these gongs and it would just like wash over you. Oh my gosh, I want to do that again right now. It was so powerful and so good. It feels like fulfillment and the bowls are full. Yeah, they're all like upright, aren't they? None of the bowls are turning over all weird. It's like they're all going, you know, out. Like lots of love is being shared here. I am so full, I can give these to others. I am fulfilled enough to share a lot with others. Yes. Yes, absolutely. Because you still have a full trunk of treasure here. Music is so healing for me, just like alone time. Yes, Ashley, I'm feeling that. Abundance. Yes, this goes back to the abundance frequency that we got. Even the colors, we had kind of the golden and then the orangey colors here. Back to the abundance frequency that we got in the oracle reading. It's the lingering. Yeah, it's that lingering energy. And sometimes I've done my own toning in my voice. And if you really are with yourself and you're in a good little acoustic place where you tone with your own voice, it's like your voice starts singing back to you. Has any of you ever had that happen? Like I was like doing that and I was like toning and doing these like tones, and then all of a sudden, like as I'm listening and I'm holding the tone, like another voice is like, it's like the voice of the creation. I don't know. It was like singing back to me. So cool. That's a great idea for a date night too. I would definitely consider that. Those of you that are in couples, sound therapy for a date night. Yeah, you'd have to research the sound healer to see if she's also, yeah. I'll have to see if those gongs are still out and going around and playing too. Let's get us an affirmation from the Super Attractor Oracle to close off this second reading, and then we'll move into our Pluto pivot reading, which will be our third and final. Yes, Karen. No, that's never happened to me. You're just weird. We like weird here on Creators on the Crest. We accept weird. Okay. Oh, this is beautiful because Karen, this goes with kind of what you were just saying, wanting more for others and sending that beautiful, those full, beautiful bowls out to others puts me in an energy of abundance. Wanting more for others puts me in an energy of abundance. It's that part of our brains that don't know the difference between giving and receiving, where that frequency is very high vibrational and it feels the same, whether we're gifting or we're receiving gifts, right? And so it's that beautiful harmony. And I love that that comes in with Libra energy because it's a very much a harmonizing kind of energy. Maybe this could also be in your partnership, since we are talking about relationships, wanting the best for your partner, wanting them to find their golden frequency, right? The people that you love, your children, people closest to you. And you want that, right? There's so many energies of competition and jealousy, but it's that beautiful, like, I feel it in me and I want it for others. I want everyone to feel that way. And a lot of us come in childhood with that knowing and that desire, and we're very giving and we share naturally and we do these things, right? And then the world kind of gets us and we get a little jaded and we think we have to compete, and it becomes like a stress and a fight, right? And this is that energy, the wisdom of going through the experience and experiencing that lack and coming back, and lack in relationships, lack with finances, right? It's not just abundance, money abundance. It's abundance in our connections. It's abundance in our cycles that we go through as humans, living spiritual beings, living a human experience, right? It's the abundance of the lessons that we have learned as well. Interesting. Paprika and salmon colors. Yes, I know. We just keep getting more and more of that color palette. Coral, yes. I think I said persimmon too. I was seeing kind of the orangey reds. Coral might be a really nice, piece of jewelry or stone if you have a piece of coral. It's very sacred too, right? The ocean needs its coral reefs. All right, let's get into these Pluto pivot energies here and see what we get. It kind of came out, Pluto's definitely pivoting. The cards kind of came out sideways here. And it's really interesting because we've been getting a lot of twos. I'm just going to say that. So we got, you know, the Two of Pentacles in that first reading about the Capricorn Blueprint. We've got a Two of Swords and a Two of Wands here. And then we have a progression into the Four of Wands. So the Pluto pivot, because this is Pluto in Aquarius, and the moon in Libra is trining Pluto in Aquarius today. Radical authenticity and shifting our perspective. Okay? And we're shifting, what I'm seeing here in the pattern, we're shifting away from the Two of Swords, confusion, feeling blinded or like we can't see the big picture. We're shifting away from this. Like it's like utter confusion, and these ravens are just like squawking. She can't see. She's all tied up, trying to release herself. But what are the ravens trying to tell her? What are the messages that are coming in that maybe she's not hearing? Maybe she's not open to. We've been talking about opening to receive in this Frequency Friday today. What is she working on opening? I think for some of you, it may feel like you're done defending your beliefs. Like you don't have anything. Yeah, it's coming up in a cough now. You don't have anything to prove. Very Hitchcock feeling. Yeah, shadow energy. But kind of being over, like trying to prove yourself to someone or something or society. Right? There was kind of like, when I think about like 5 or 6 years ago, I think about like a lot of, you know, I think about social media and a lot of echo chambers. Feels like an echo chamber kind of energy. A lot of squawking going on, but are we really making any progress here? The nice thing is this energy is being shown to be shifting for us here. All right. So these times, like a character from Wednesday Addams. Yeah, it's kind of, are those scales on her arm? Sure looks like it. Looks like some Libra scales tattooed on her arm there. Try to look at that. And they look like the two little triangles are kind of like the little air sign energy. That's absolutely right. That's absolutely what it is. She does also kind of have a little smile on her face, though, as like she knows she's going to find her way out of it. Are these ravens, like the ravens, was it Hunden and Funden? I don't know. I don't know if I'm mixing Lord of the Rings. The two ravens that of Odin's, AM might know. Odin's ravens. Odin would send the ravens out ahead of him, and they would come back with news, and they would come back with like, hey, you know, up ahead, this is what it looks like, you know, and in the distance there, and they come back and inform. So this could be her gathering information. This could be you gathering information. I'm also kind of getting like maybe in the dream time as well. She knows if she surrenders, then she has control, right? Instead of fighting it, instead of getting more tangled up, right? So these could be like helpers too, helpful energy. And it's really nice because the shift that I'm being shown here, the shifting perspective, there's those colors again, the Two of Swords. The Two of Swords, what did I say, Two of Swords? This is the Two of Swords. This is the Two of Wands, okay? So now we're not blindfolded anymore. We're not in a place where we have to surrender. We are surrendered. Look, she's sitting comfortably, gazing out of a window. She understands the world that she's dealing with here. There's a little VW bus here, which kind of harkens back to maybe a vision board or some traveling of some kind with the globe, kind of a globe-trotter kind of energy. She's got one wand behind her and she's holding on to one. She's envisioning, she's daydreaming into being what she is in alignment with from a place of that surrender. And she's now, where things were confusing and noisy, the noise has quieted. And she's able to sit and be with the energies that get her excited, because it's Wands energy, it's passion. It's that energy of like, what can I really get excited about? When I think about my most radically authentic life, what am I most excited about doing? Now, she's not up and running toward it or anything yet, but she is really connecting to the vision. She is really taking a long, deep look at this, which is really good because remember, we still have that Capricorn stellium. So Capricorn wants you to ground in some of this energy. Oh, you like that? Okay, let's put it on put it in the journal, put it on the vision board if you're doing that. Let's really begin to really move our senses into this energy. And I love that. I love that. It's very warm. It's very inviting. Some of you may be feeling really good, like DNA Mindset Matters, she was saying, felt really good about when she got the list. Some of you are putting things into lists. You're having a good time with your imagination, letting your imagination bring things to you. Magi, M-A-G-I, you as the magician, nation, I imagine nation, right? I, Magi nation, you as the magician energy, working with the wand of fire, beautiful, beautiful. That's learning how to ignite your desires into the world. Hugin and Moonim, memory. Yeah, it is Norse mythology. It is Norse. And I think I was like, I couldn't remember if I was talking Lord of the Rings talk or Norse mythology, and there are some connections there. Hugin and Moonim. I'll have to go to like one of those translators that pronounces it for me so I can get it down. But those would be the ravens. Yeah. It's like this character now has the information, and they get to like be with it, be with the information and begin to warm up to it, warm into it, and see how they can, looking out that window, looking at the horizon, seeing how they'll be able to put it into practice and structure and stability, which is really cool because we got the Four of Wands next, and look how happy and successful we feel. This is that new location, that is that new home energy that we got back in the oracle reading, right? Karen is experiencing that firsthand. This could represent the new energy, the stability we feel within ourselves, our confidence about making decisions, about surrendering, about knowing when to release and to let go versus when to take action. I'm loving the dance and celebration and movement. Again, this is giving me like, you can hear music playing, right? In this card, like the way that it's illustrated. We've got the tambourine, which is a really fun instrument, And we've moved, right? We've moved from the 2 to the 3 into the 4. This would indicate that we're going to use this time to align our gifts, talents, and abilities, what we want to do, the actions we want to take with we're going to anchor them into the practical world. All been really, really nice, really showing us that the work we're doing right now here in Capricorn season is going to pay off for the long term. I really do. I am seeing that. So if you're feeling like you're in a place of like giving up, or you're like tired and exhausted, rest when you need to, but know that these energies are moving in the right direction and it's looking really good. So let's get us an affirmation for the Pluto pivot energies. And this will give you beautiful, these are beautiful things to carry into your weekend. Next Tuesday, I'll be back with some more astrotarology. It's like tarot and tea meets astrotarology. And then who knows what else. I'm working with Gemini right now to also come up with my new structure for the YouTube channel. I've redesigned several times, but as YouTube changes things, you kind of have to change things. And then I have to figure out how to make it work with my schedule. So I'm thinking about bringing another long form on. We're going to keep the Frequency Fridays. We're going to keep the every other Sunday night live Q&As. We're going to keep the Tarot and Tea on Tuesday, probably, unless I move it to Monday, Astrotarology. And I want to bring on one more, and I'm really excited. I won't reveal everything yet, but I will reveal the affirmation for this final reading. When I am patient, I let the universe do for me what I cannot do for myself. Yeah, and maybe she's trusting the universe to help her. When I'm patient, I let the universe do for me what I cannot do for myself. Some things are just out of our control. Are we going to try to control those energies? Pluto doesn't really let us do that, right? It's kind of like, oh no, you're full of you know what. You're full of that poo-poo. You've got to be patient. Let the universe bring this in. Let it do what you cannot do. All you have to do is sit back and watch for those signs, okay? It's not that you're not taking action. It's not that you're not envisioning, okay? You're still moving, but you're also moving with a patience that allows the universe to meet you. Allow it to bring in what you need for your journey. Okay, everyone, don't forget this Sunday night, 7 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, we are doing the live Q&A. I hope to see you there. Come in, drop in a question or a theme, and get your mini reading. Congratulations to Kimberly, who did win the free mini reading from the 50th anniversary of Frequency Friday. So I want to congratulate her as well. And I can't wait to see you guys next time. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful for you. Thank you for your patience with me as I was healing and recovering. And wow, I'm really excited to get into this year of the fire horse. We didn't talk about that a lot today, but I have been talking about it. And I'm already feeling those spring vibes. I'm kind of, the days are getting a little longer, so a little more light energy. Happy birthday to Kimberly. Of course, happy birthday to Girl Gone, if she's still around. Wishing you all happy, and to DNA's mom, who's a Capricorn, right? Wishing you all very happy birthdays. I'll see you all next time. Bye.